prosperity. We should no longer tax investment or production, but focus on returns, incomes, and consumption. This government will tax the fruit, but not the seeds.
The introduction of President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bill has sparked widespread debate across Nigeria, with some supporting and some opposing this development. Tax reform bill is generally undertaken to improve the efficiency of tax administration and to maximize the economy. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his first presidential media chat last year, noted that the bills were necessary to restructure the Nigerian economy. Ever since the proposed laws were sent by President Tinubu to the National Assembly, lawmakers of the northern extraction have been expressing worries. 19 northern state governors expressed their extreme discontent with the federal government's recent tax reform bill. The governors notably opposed the proposed transition to a derivation-based model for value-added tax distribution. These proposed reform bills aim to overhaul the country's tax collection and administration systems, presenting an opportunity to create a more equitable and efficient taxation model. At the heart of the bill are transformative provisions, such as revisions to the value-added tax, VAT, revenue sharing formula, and exemptions for small businesses and the average Nigerians. While these changes could potentially revitalize Nigeria's economy, they also expose critical issues within the country's federal structure, particularly the economic imbalances among regions, state and local governments. One of the most contentious aspects of the reform is the proposed VAT revenue sharing formula. Under this new model, 60% of VAT revenue will be allocated to the state where goods and services were consumed, 20% distributed based on population, and the remaining 20% equally shared among all states. It has drawn intense criticism, especially from northern state governors and stakeholders who feel disadvantaged. The proposed reforms are not without merit. For instance, exempting individuals earning less than 800,000 naira annually from income tax and small businesses with turnovers below 50 million naira from corporate tax offers much needed relief. These measures could strengthen economic activities by reducing the financial burden on vulnerable groups, ease the living status of working-class citizens, and enable small enterprises to reinvest and thrive. Meanwhile, the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Oyedele, has reviewed how the Nigerian Governors Forum cancelled meetings with his team 4 times.
We had extensive engagement with the governors. I went to the Governors Forum. We wrote and wanted to meet with 6 governors, one from each of the 6 geopolitical zones. Until today, up until this moment, it's only the governor of Lagos State we were able to see. The other governor who was willing to welcome us was governor of Kaduna State. And then after all the logistics, we agreed the dates. On that day, he wasn't able to attend. It was the deputy governor that hosted us. I would not name the other governors, but I can actually if I need to. They didn't have time for us. The Governors Forum themselves invited us 4 times and cancelled 4 times.
This comes as it decries why the governors are not claiming to have been carried along in the formation of the bills. Oyedele made this statement in a recent interview with Arise TV regarding the 4 controversial reform bills. He noted that majority of Nigerian governors didn't have the time to meet with Presidential Tax Reform Bill Committee. According to him, when the Nigerian Governors Forum finally met with his team after several cancellations, they were only given 15 minutes to discuss the tax reforms. He stated that the committee had met with finance ministers of states and state internal revenue services across Nigeria. Yet, governors claimed they had not been consulted. The Governors Forum themselves invited us 4 times and cancelled 4 times. The 5th time, we were kept waiting until 1:30 a.m. By the time they had time for us, they said we had 15 minutes. We had a half-day engagement with finance commissioners across Nigeria. We had more than 4 engagements with head of internal revenue services across Nigeria, Oyedele stated. This comes amid the ongoing controversy surrounding the 4 tax bills: the Nigerian Tax Bill 2024, the Tax Administration Bill, the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill, and the Joint Revenue Board Establishment Bill. After President Bola Ahmed Tinubu transmitted them to the National Assembly in October 2024, while northern states grapple with legitimate challenges, including weak industrial bases and security issues, the solution lies in fostering economic self-reliance. States should be allowed to leverage their unique and natural resources, such as agriculture in the north, to develop thriving local economies. It's worth noting that President Bola Tinubu's tax reform bill represents a pivotal moment for Nigeria. It offers an opportunity to create a tax system that not only funds essential services, but also promotes trust, inclusivity, and collaboration. For this vision to be realized, stakeholders must engage in a transparent dialogue and ensure tax reform is implemented fairly and effectively. Stay tuned to NaijaNews TV for more news updates and exclusive videos.